Hey, what do you say? Welcome to the College Hockey Show. I am Jeremiah Maxwell. With me, as always, the Degenerate Bostonian Mike. And we have a special guest, the Savage. Yes, you get the Savage picks all the time from Mike. Now he's here with us. So welcome to the Savage. Let's just get right into it, Mike. We got a lot to talk about before they take a break. Next week, we'll have one show where we talk about the pairwise, but there will not be a show after that until they're back resuming games. So appreciate you. This is the College Hockey Show. Our deets are scrolling in the bottom there. Mike, let's get right into it. Let's talk about what you want to talk about. Let's get into the games that are being played.
So guess the ones Savage and I went to this week. Providence, at the time, number 8, swept number 10 Colorado College. But the thing I thought was crazy was Colorado's college goalie won goalie of the week. He's goalie of the week. Lost 5. Somehow goaltender of the week. I mean, Savage, what's your comment here? I agreed with it, but
he's a very good goalie. I mean, we've been watching him. His technique is great. That Providence team, they're a heavy duty, like they like to crash the net type of team. And I mean, like we said before, Mike, I think he's an NHL goalie in the next couple of years. But
yes, we're talking about Membreko. For those that don't know, Avalanche draft pick. I don't know if the Avs. I'm fearful for him because the Avs goaltending is trash this year.
Yeah, they just made
made 2. Yeah, for the Woods.
They got Wedgwood and Blackwood. I think that's going to make ultimately a lot of difference because they weren't getting good goaltending from Georgiev, but not to jump on the NHL ship. Let's just go right in. Wisconsin visits Michigan. Michigan, I know, didn't fare well against Minnesota, but probably gets the job done here, you think, in Michigan?
I for the love of God, I hope so, Wolverine Nation. Getting blown out by Minnesota was ugly. At least we fought back game 2. We still couldn't get any points. You lose to Wisconsin, you got problems. Sparta lost to Wisconsin. Augustine had an awful night. He bounced back and had a great night the next night. You're not going to have your best game every night. Everyone knows that. We're all humans. But for the Wolverines, we need 4 points. There's no excuse. They're unranked. You need 4 points or we're going to be in some problems. You can't mess around with this year's Big Ten. You can't. Penn State's proven they can win. They're not even ranked. Notre Dame can win on a Friday. Can't win on Saturdays. But, again, that team could sneak in, and it sounds stupid, but they could draw the Friday, Sunday TV matchups. Notre Dame's undefeated on Sundays this year. So all of a sudden now you have Notre Dame winning the conference, getting an auto bid. Like, we need
Notre Dame's getting top 20 bids. They're getting top 20 bids.
That's what I mean. Like, this is what I put. Like, you need 4 points.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll roll into that. Even Notre Dame, Ohio State, the next one. If you're Ohio State, you've been struggling. You just got into the top 16. You need to stay there. You need to survive the Irish wave and then win on Saturday because Notre Dame still is yet to win on a Saturday. Even in Ireland, they couldn't win on a Saturday.
Has Ohio State played Michigan State yet? Have they played Michigan State yet?
Notre Dame did not play Michigan State yet.
No, Ohio State. Has Ohio State played Michigan State?
I don't think so.
I don't believe so.
So right now we know that Michigan State's probably the class of the Big Ten.
I don't know if I'd call them the class yet. I mean,
12-2.
It's
4 first place.
I mean, we'll talk about it in a few, but I think this weekend's going to have a lot of push towards it.
Okay, for sure. Yeah, we got Minnesota versus Michigan State. Absolutely. Minnesota's Big Ten too. My bad.
Yeah.
I just always think of them being in the WCHA, the old WCHA.
That conference was a force back in the day.
Yeah,
damn.
UAA used to be, and I said it was the SEC of college hockey, man.
It really was.
Michigan, Minnesota, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, okay, UNH Dartmouth. I know Savage and I were talking a lot about this game before this started. Obviously the Ivy League schools start a little bit later. They have a little bit tougher course load than most of these other colleges, I'm assuming. But Dartmouth's been a good one. They're 17th in the country, currently 6-3-1. Probably it's them or Cornell out of the Ivy League, right? That are the good teams. So far.
Yeah.
You guys, but UNH is 7-1-1 in their last 8, right?
They're 5-1-1 in their last 7 games. So that is definitely, they're rolling right now, and they just look very good. I know they're on Nesson tonight. For anybody in the New England area,
I said they'd be 4th in Hockey East. I said they would be 4th.
Yeah, I think they're finally going on that run, Mike. I think they're starting to put it together. I mean, their back end is very good. They've only gave up I think their goals against average is 2.0 in the last 5 games. I know that basically they've played some really good schools lately, and I know they're starting to look. Their goaltending is starting to come around, which was the biggest question. And Wales is really starting to play real well. So I would not sleep on them tonight against Dartmouth, because I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah, New Hampshire get 45 top 10 votes or top 20 votes too. So in the NCAA bracket. So yeah, I love that. I love that one. When we get into your bets, we'll definitely talk about that. I was talking about Augustana is here in Alaska. That's a game. Lake Superior plays Minnesota State Mankato, which Minnesota State Mankato is 12th in the top the NCAA poll right now. St. Cloud number 9 at Nodak. I know Mike has not been a fan of Nodak's coach, but Nodak got some big wins this last weekend. And then the cherry on top, Michigan State at Minnesota 3-1. That's a huge game, 8:30 Eastern, probably the biggest game. Now, I wanted to ask you guys, because we didn't really talk about this before the show and the pre-show, but I know a lot of the good players are missing for the World Juniors. Is this going to affect Minnesota or Michigan in that bracket?
Yeah. Last year when they lost, BC lost 6 guys, and that actually set the tone for me, because they didn't lose a game losing those 6 guys. You lost Connor Gauthier, you lost Fowler, you lost Leonard, you lost Perreault. Like, you lost your top 5 players and your goalie, and lose a game. I don't see them doing that again when they lose their top 6 guys, but a team like Minnesota, a team like Boston College, they're going to get hurt. It's, can you weather the storm? And this is when I see the pairwise shake up, because you have a team like Denver who's only losing 4, Maine who's losing 1. I forget how many BU's losing. It's not many. It's, I think, 2.
Yeah, they don't have many this year. Yeah, there's not many players this year.
It's only 2. I think 2. Like, you have teams that are in your, in the teens, in the 20s, and they start making moves because you win. Yeah, got World.
Avi says most of schools, BU, BC, Minnesota guys got World Juniors. They're not playing in a lot of the over the break. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like January week. That's when you get the shakeup.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Okay. Well, let's get right into your bets. Let's talk about what you want to bet your money on. Or did you get to talk about everything on your list? Games to watch. Go ahead and go into your games to watch.
Yeah, I think the last one we missed was number 4 Denver at number 10 Colorado College.
Oh yeah, my bad.
Yeah, Denver's lost 3 out of 4. Colorado College just got swept. Same, you need points in the conference. I'm curious. I know Denver has the speed. We saw Colorado College struggles when you take the body on them. John, Savage, I'll push this to you. Do you see Colorado College fighting through the muscle of Denver? Like, I haven't seen enough Denver to say they can out-muscle Colorado College.
I think it's going to be a split this weekend is what I think is going to happen, because both of these teams need these games. I mean, I've seen a little bit of Denver play. I think Colorado's a faster team, but Denver is the more physical team. And the one thing I'll tell you is I watched Providence beat the tire out of Colorado College. I know Mike was there with me. So I see a split coming, because I think both of these teams know that these are, desperate games right now for their pairwise and everything. But I don't know. I mean, I see a split. I just can't really predict these.
I
One
think
team is better than the other.
I'm curious. Like, I guess I'm getting ahead of ourselves. Like when Denver, Maine, a very physical team. I'm curious how Denver skates against them. We saw Colorado College get minus their, Membreko there. Colorado College got destroyed by Providence. That poor guy got hung out to dry. He stopped what, 3 3-on-1s?
Yeah, I mean, they were floating. I mean, Providence was floating the guy the whole game if you watched it. So,
He's going.
Yeah, he's just talking about that. Just keep going. I'll produce the show. You guys keep talking hockey. He's just talking about Minnesota MSU. He's leaning the Gophers, but they got a lot to prove.
Actually, I don't want to go on that. John, what do you think of the Snuggerud Wood combo out in Soda?
I think it's the second best combo in college hockey.
Who's one?
I think the Perot Leonard is the best combo in college, and you can put Hagens right there with it. So
I mean, that's the top 5 in the Hobie Baker Award right now.
It is.
It's sick. It's 2 lines.
Yeah, I mean, it is. I mean, it's going to be interesting. I haven't really seen a lot of Denver. I don't know I know their first line is very good, like Devine and the other kid that plays with him. So,
number 4 there.
Yeah, I mean, I think they're right there with them, but I just
back end.
Yeah, he was on the back end. Yeah, he's on the back end. No, we're trying to think of Devine's other winger. I'm suddenly
Yeah, I know they're top in like scoring. Those are the 3 lines. Because if you look at the top scoring in college right now, it's those 3 lines, and then it's just people scattered about. I know there's a Maine kid scattered in there, and I think where else is in?
It's McCarr. He's been hot this season.
Scott. I think it's Scott. I think it's
Scott.
the other kid.
I know the greatest. I'm shocked, but it's the greatest thing Maine did this year was split up McCarr and Nadeau, which was shocking. Because I'll live and die on this. I still think Nadeau is Maine's best player, but he's rocking the second line, and he's been much better on the second line than he was the one. And Scott has been better since they put him on the first line.
So I've got James Reeder, Kieran Sebrian, Connor Capone, Jake Fisher, Jared Wright, Peter LaJoy, Carter King, Ryger Lawrence, Hagen Burrows, Sam Harris, Samu Salmonen, a Finnish kid, Boston Buchberger. That's a defenseman. Sorry, Aiden Thompson, Jack Devine. Those are their forwards for Denver.
Yes.
Yeah, I know Devine was leading the country in points for a while, but I know Leonard retook it last weekend.
Well, I think what's helping Leonard win the Hobie Baker Award right there is Devine was leading the nation in scoring and then played ranked opponents. Leonard was already leading the nation in scoring and decided to keep scoring against ranked opponents. I watched him. Yeah, he had a bad game against Dartmouth. He had 2 lights out games against Maine. He took over Western Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
I just watched him single-handedly take over and beat Lowell. He just decided I want to win the game, and he did. And it's just that's who Ryan Leonard is. And I think that's why I'm going to be shocked he doesn't win this thing. The only way, honest to God, knock on wood, I don't know how he loses. I really don't.
Yeah, Hagens is starting to elevate too right now. If you watch him, he's really starting to mature, and he's making some serious plays now.
Right. So we're talking about the same line. So he's going to lose to his line mate, is what you're telling me. That's Beard, I wish I took a video of it. I was just in awe. Leonard went into the corner, 3-on-1, wins the damn battle, kicks it over to Hagens. Hagens set up Perot and buried the damn thing. It was a thing of beauty, and I watched the entire Lowell bench just hang their heads. Because what do? You send both your defensemen and your centerman into the corner, and their one guy beats you cleanly. It's stupid. It looks like a video game with those 3 out there. It really does. I will try to get my phone out of my pocket the next time, but it's just
Do you
watching
think
those guys.
Hagens is number one? You think Hagens is the number one pick, or do you think this kid out of the OHL goes number one? That big.
Talking to a couple of the Hockey East scouts I was sitting with, I was talking with Maine scout and I was talking with Vermont scout. The reason they're saying Hagens will not be number one now is because of who he's playing with, and they think they're inflating him, which, I mean, it's hard to argue that because you have Leonard and Perreault, already drafted players, and I'm a little surprised they're not in the NHL, but I get it because the NHL team isn't ready, but they are personally ready. So I've been told because of who he's surrounded by, he's no longer a number one pick. They want to see more of him. But they also said the OHL kid is 3 or 4 inches taller. So I will always say take the bigger guy.
Sportsnet's December article that's from Sam Constantino, who works for Sportsnet, is known, has Hagens number one.
They still have number one.
And Matthew Schaefer is the kid here's the difference. Hagens is 5'11", 177 pounds. Schaefer's 6'1", 183. That's a nominal difference. There's no big difference there. The kid that Perlo brought up the other day on our show, I think that's getting a lot that plays for the Brampton Steelheads. Oh my God, my dogs, fuck off. Every fucking time I start a fucking show, they want to start barking. Anyway, Porter Matone, 6'3". And then you got Michael Misa, number 3 there from the Saginaw Spirit. So still a lot of top 4. You still got 3 guys out of the OHL in the top 4. And then you get into some of the foreign players. Stop fucking barking. Victor Eklund, another guy. Roger McQueen, 6'5", 197-pound. Brandon Wheat Kings. Then you got Logan Hensler from Wisconsin. He's a bigger body kid. But
he
right now,
a wonderful weekend. Anderson just had a lights out weekend. That kid was on fire.
Hensler.
Yeah, he was beautiful against Sparta. For those that got to watch. So speaking of which, Avi said the Badgers should 100% be ranked. Battles Minnesota twice close, loses in a split with MSU. Yeah, we'll see, Avi. I think they're getting votes to be in the top 20. So, and are they in the pairwise? They rank everybody, right? So they're 32 in the pairwise, but they are getting. I think they are getting some votes. Yeah, they're getting 4 votes for the top 20. So they have the schedule to get back in it. That's the greatest thing for them.
They got to win their games. That's the key. I mean, look, we know Wisconsin's been a powerhouse in the past. They can get back to it. So, all right, let's get into your bets, guys. We're about halfway through the show, so I don't want to get lost in the sauce. We got a little bit lost on the prospects. I anticipate Hagens will be the number 1 pick. I don't think it matters at all that he's playing with Ryan Leonard. I do think, though, it would benefit him to stay another year in college, just based on what I've seen this year from BC. But, we'll see.
So I guess my picks, I'm actually doing a round robin, guys. I got 3-team robin. Total bet's going to be 2 units. A little cheaper to do it this way. If it all hits, it's a 6 units, so you can triple up. So we like tripling up. Taking Michigan money line minus 256. As I said, they just got destroyed on the road. They're coming home. It's the last game before Christmas. It's the last game before finals. Traditionally, that's a packed Yost. For those who haven't been to the Yost, good luck being a visitor there. That's pretty much all I have to say. Ohio State money line minus 145. I have not been impressed with the Irish. They know they just got a number next to their name. They're fighting to get in to the top 16. They're there, but they want to stay there. You got to beat Notre Dame. You're at home. I have not seen a hockey game at Ohio State, so I can't speak to the atmosphere, but I've seen lacrosse games there, and they pack 5,000-6,000 people in, so why not go to a hockey game? I imagine it's going to be tough. Third pick, St. Cloud on the road, plus 1.5 at minus 215. They're at Nodak. And you've heard me say it 100 times. I'm just not buying into them this year. I was a huge buyer up until Thanksgiving, and now I'm like, what is this team doing? I've got a lot of questions. They have not answered. I was excited when they played BU. BU hasn't been that great. Savage, you were all over them getting beaten by Cornell. You crushed that one. A couple of plus money bets. And they haven't been the same since the Cornell smackdown. So
No.
And it's been a concern. So that's why I'm taking St. Cloud. Maybe Nodak, sneaks it in an OT, but plus 1.5, you win an OT, and you win it if it ends in a tie. So
yeah, I think if you're North Dakota and you're not competing for national championships, you are failing. That is a powerhouse school. They need to be in the top 10, not just barely staying in the top 20. I'm with you guys 100%. See how long the old boy keeps his job if they keep underperforming.
Yeah.
That's for certain there. I got your parlay up there, 2-unit parlay, Michigan money line, St. Cloud plus 1.5, Ohio State money line. Put it up there for you.
Appreciate
so
it.
Everybody can see it. Yep. Thank you for sending it to me.
Savage. You sick lunatic.
Savage has a parlay.
You sick lunatic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna take New Hampshire against Dartmouth. That should be plus money. I know that.
You're taking New Hampshire to put Dartmouth in. I got to recalculate your parlay then.
So you have Dartmouth beating.
UNH beating Dartmouth.
You sent me a backwards pick. Okay. Now you're really a psychopath.
UNH over Dartmouth, Vermont over. You got
Union.
Vermont.
Union. Yep.
Okay, Vermont over Union.
Yep.
Okay.
And what was the other one, Mike? I know I just said
Colorado College.
Yes, I'm going to take Colorado College over Denver.
Hold on. I think you're in like the plus 600s now, you psychopath. You degenerate monster. I lied. It's a plus 1,396. Put $1 on it, get 14 back. You sick freak.
Yeah, I mean, I like it. That's how
I don't hate it either.
Like I said, I got to ride the hot team. I really do think right now UNH
$5 get you 80. You sick psychopath. I'm gonna thumb $5 on it. Why not? It's $5.
Plus what?
1,396.
Okay.
Honestly, I'm with it. I really am. For $5, you sold me on this one. And I'm with you. They are the hot teams. UNH is at Dartmouth, but Dartmouth doesn't have an atmosphere.
Yeah, and it's not that far either. I mean, it's right up the road.
Vermont travels well. It's not far to Union.
I had a friend in high school that went to Dartmouth, but I didn't realize they were even an Ivy League school forever and a day until Andrew Perloff, who was on the Dan Patrick Show, went to Dartmouth, and they're like, "Oh, it's an Ivy League school." I'm like, "Okay, I didn't know that." Like my friend got into a really good college, I guess. Is this correct, Savage? UNH over Dartmouth, Vermont over Union, Colorado College over Denver, plus 1,396.
Yep.
You bet $1, you win some money. Never a bad thing. You lose. You bet $5, you win some serious cash. You bet $100, you lose $100. But if you win, you're cashing in.
Yeah,
I love it.
I mean, I know. I've talked to Mike about the Catamounts. The Catamounts look very good right now. They look very good.
Another school that I expect to be better in Vermont, right?
Vermont's issue is they get great freshmen. And then those freshmen go, I don't want to play for Vermont because we get shelled every night. And they transfer to others. They just go other schools. Sometimes they go Hockey East and stay on the third line. Sometimes they go to Big Ten, stay on the third line. They go to like a Bentley or a Michigan Tech, and now they're first line stars. And I'm like, if you guys just stayed, because this was Maine's problem for a while. It was, and then 3 years ago, they had a freshman class that stayed. They had 11 guys come in, 8 of them stayed. And they were number 7 in the country last year. And now here they are this year at number 4.
Doing a really good job there, too. I think the coach makes a difference, right? I mean,
yes. Oh, God, yes.
Significantly. I mean, again, when I talked about UMass BU, I thought UMass could have won that game. Again, you got such a good coach there in Pandolfo, just knows what to do. They don't panic, and they just keep playing their game. And obviously, BU, they have some talent on that team. So, they kind of grind back in. So, okay. Any other outside things you guys wanted to talk about before we call it a show?
I know for me, I want to see more physical play in the non-Hockey East teams when they come to Hockey East. It's just something I've noticed the last couple of years. I don't know if it's it's a power conference, Hockey East. It's like Big Ten. It's like the the NCHC, like they're powerful schools. I just Savage. I'll ask you, like, if you notice the same thing when out of towners come in.
Yeah, I mean, we watched Michigan. Michigan was against BU. They got kind of manhandled too. I mean, they have speed. That's the one thing that team has. They have some serious speed this year. But I mean, me and you last weekend watched Providence just beat the tar out of Colorado College. I mean, they destroyed that team.
Yeah, so I guess anyone out to, I guess Western United States, Central United States, or just not in New England, New York area, can you send me a tweet, let us know, like, what are you seeing outside of when Hockey East teams go visit you? Because it's just something I see. It's just teams come in and they have no legs under them. And it's
the ECAC normally is physical. I will say that.
But I mean, this is East. That's Boston versus New York. We hate each other. Like,
correct. Correct. All the East. I mean, mostly the ECAC teams are physical teams. I know we've talked about this too much.
But I mean, they also get pissed because they didn't get picked by the school they grew up watching. Now they're going to play in another conference, and this is a revenge game. But like Michigan is a physical team. They were faster than BU, but they weren't physical than BU. Colorado College, I think, 5 body checks in the game we saw, which is inexcusable. That's why you lost 5-1 because you didn't take the body. Trying to think, but like when BU went to Michigan State used force. Or I'm sorry, North Dakota. North Dakota used force and split with them. That first game, Nodak beat the bag out of them. That's why they won. Yeah. So, I mean, Avi, I'll use you right here. Vermont's been taking the body more this year, and they're winning. They're winning because of that. So that's why I'm curious, like anyone outside of New England, let me know how a Hockey East team looks. I can only watch so many games. As I said, I got to watch.
And they don't make the West trip very often either. And let's be fair, like there isn't the concentration of D1 hockey like there is in New England and New York and all that, like there is anywhere else in the country. This is why it's intriguing if the South gets involved, because they're all on the same time zone as you guys, basically East Coast Central Time. Maybe if you get some Texas teams or something, eventually we're going to see that, I'm sure. Especially if some of these SEC schools turn D1 hockey into actual legit programs. I think there's going to be a freaking arms race coming up between the Big Ten and the Hockey East and all those because of these Canadian players coming down. And now they know they have options to them and they are able to come. So like if you're an 18 or 19-year-old junior player that's aging out, like again, this Easton Cowan kid that's playing for the London Knights, he's absolutely dominating. He almost broke Doug Gilmour's record, blah, blah, blah. Like, it's like, hey, this kid is done with the OHL, in my opinion. Like this would be his last year, but is he ready for the NHL? Maybe no. And he's a Leafs draft pick. So like, he's already been drafted. So like, unless Toronto has, like, he fills a need for them, honestly, he's probably not ready to crack their top 6. And that's where you want that kid probably playing. So It's going to be real interesting and real intriguing.
It's already happening. I know you can already see it on the internet. All these kids are starting to come down. And like you said, I think the floodgates are going to open this offseason. I think it's all the top end players are already coming down. I know Mike and I have already talked about this. They're all coming down.
This is even if you're not a top end player. What if you're a middle of the run player?
Yep.
You're a middle of the run player that's a good hockey player that you could go play East Coast Hockey League, live on a bus, stay in shitty motels, make $3,000 a week, or you can go to college for 4 more years And I'm telling you, this is gonna make it better for the NHL too, because there'll be guys that are think of all the undrafted players we've seen throughout the years that come in and make a difference.
Yeah.
You're 27, 28 years old doesn't mean you can't make it to the show. Clearly they don't have a lot of patience anymore, but I'm saying we're already today. I saw a poll, would you rather have Celebrini or Bedard? It's like crazy that we're already talking about this. To me, it wasn't even a question. I was like, well, having watched them both play, I'm taking Celebrini all day. Sorry about it.
And I think Bedard is someone that would have benefited for a year in college. I really do.
Absolutely, man.
I think he would have been much better off.
We're forcing these guys into the league too quick. We want to. There's Crosby, Ovechkins are one-offs. McCarrs, Nate McKinnon's, those guys. And remember, Nate McKinnon, he wasn't even consensus number one pick. Everybody said Seth Jones was number one pick that year. Nobody was on Nathan McKinnon for the number one pick. Everybody was baffled when Colorado didn't take him.
Yeah, McDavid almost went to college. He almost went to college.
Another guy that would
He committed to a Hockey East team. And he decided last minute to stay up in Canada.
Well, he was good enough to go into the league too. Again, another guy. But he broke his collarbone in his rookie year, only played so many games. Would have benefited from being in college, putting on size. And can you imagine seeing him? And he would have won the Hobie Baker. And anyway. Well, that's the show, guys. You guys have any parting words before we call it a week?
Say stay tuned, guys, for Pairwise next week. We'll get more in depth with that. And Savage, we got 2 weeks till Maine. Let's go Black Bears versus Denver.
It's going to be epic.
Yeah, we'll be up and out fun for you guys. We'll get lots of pictures of that.
That's going to be awesome. Yeah, we'll get some things there. Mike and Savage go to a lot of the games, so I love that you guys get out there. Got to get me a Maine Black Bears jersey. If you see one cheap, I'll reimburse you.
Who do you want on the back? If we can get a name.
Korea would be cool, but it doesn't matter.
All right, we'll shoot for a Swayman, but if not, I'll grab
maybe a car. Yeah, Swayman would be epic, right? The Alaska kid for sure. Well, I appreciate you guys. Everybody, have a great week. We will see you next Friday to talk Pairwise, and then we'll talk about where we go from there. NHL Nightly tonight is a special episode. It's just an interview with me and Sammy Silber from the Hockey News. She's a Washington Capitals, covers the Capitals, works for the Associated Press. Waiting to hear back from her, so hopefully that all works out. All right. Have a great one, everybody. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the college hockey.